Hi, guys. My name is Kim,
And I'm Abby.
and this is
Calabasas.
Cultura Abby. We have not one, but two guests.
Two guests this time. We've never had two guests before. I'm
And
so
we're so excited.
excited.
Hello, Jezmina. Hello, Paulina. We are so excited to have you here today on this Mercury of the Gatorade because we were fighting for our lives for the first part, but we did so good. We are so thankful to have you guys here and to share this space with us to teach us today. So we're just literally going to be asking you questions and being silently in awe and probably writing notes
Mhm.
because what you guys are going to talk about today is something that we've, as a society, like we were talking, like I was saying it before, of just like we've never allowed space for any type of difference or multicultural or just the ability to see things in a different lens. And so we're really excited to be able to sit with you and learn more about spaces that are usually forced into silence. And so I'm gonna let you guys talk and introduce yourselves.
Thank you so much for having us. We're really psyched to be here. I'm Jezmina. I'm a tarot palm and tea leaf reader in my mixed Romani family tradition. And I'm also a podcaster with Paulina. We have Romani podcast and co-author of our book, Secrets of Romani Fortune Telling. And I have a book of poetry coming out too. And I'm a performer and I teach workshops. I do all kinds of things.
Awesome.
Mm, that's
I'm Paulina, and I have a small little store. It's just a little spiritual practice place, and I'm a reader as well, a holistic practitioner. You can visit my website at romaniholistic.com where I have a lot of natural products and sessions like for people. And also co-author of Romanist of of everything. We do everything together. No. Yeah, so co-host Romanistan podcast and co-author of Secrets of Romani Fortune Telling.
That is freaking awesome. I have to ask, so I am a lover of poetry. We have Emma on our podcast, and hopefully she'll be coming again soon. And she has anthology pretty much of all of her different poems. And so, do you feel like your poems are in like one system, or do you feel like it's a flow of your life? What is this? If you don't mind me asking, what is this poetry book going to kind of entail?
Yeah, thank you for asking. It's coming out this July and it's called Monster More Alive and it's kind of about monsters
Mm.
and monstrosity. And they're poems I've been writing since I was a teenager and I am turning 40 in July. So it's kind of wild to have this
Hmm.
repertoire of work just suddenly be born and the cover is awesome. It's like a little adorable baby zombie deer because it's a self-portrait. But not a
That's
self-portrait, I didn't
amazing.
do it, the publisher did, but, yeah, so it's if you like, scary poems about intergenerational trauma that are sometimes inappropriately funny, you might really like my book.
We need the
That
inappropriately
sounds
funny
amazing.
because that's how we cope with our trauma. What do you mean? We need to have some type of we need to be able to laugh at it in order to breathe it, like breathe life into our healing. I love it. That is
Oh, yeah.
absolutely
Paulina and I are
incredible.
big on that.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. Like sometimes Abby and I forget that we're like, hold on, not everyone gets our humor, and it's like, oops. But that's so cool. And so, Paulina, you said that you have a small shop, and we're gonna jump into the questions. This is just like I'm so excited. Paulina, you said that you have a small shop, and do you do your tarot in the shop, or do you do your tarot kind of more online and book your services more online?
I can do it all. Yeah, so I could do tarot
Okay.
anywhere. I can do it in my mind. No,
Yeah, literally, literally. Like
literally.
I see you. That bitch is not a high priestess. Let's calm down. Like literally, that's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so the
Uh,
shop is kind of like a little ritual space, so it's good for my readings, but also just like we want to give people a space to I haven't completely opened yet, but I owned another store like a couple years ago before this. I just like having a space. Like it's really
yeah.
like I don't know, I feel like going places in person is okay sometimes.
Especially if it's a space where you can, like, energetically let things go, and I love this idea of having it just, like, a very small, safe spot because we don't have a lot of those, like, a lot of like, holistic like, spaces are they're either one of 2 things. They're like mom and pop shops that, like, you go in and you smell the incense, and you're like, "Oh, okay, we're good. I can get literally everything I need here," or it's more of the, like, material, quick and easy kind of capitalistic space, and so that's really, really cool that you are recreating this safe space for yourself that we all need it,
Oh,
Yes.
especially in
yeah.
this day and age.
For sure, yeah, I appreciate that, but a lot of the most of the work I do is actually online, so, yeah, people could reach out to me, like, online and stuff like that as well, and we're also activists too, so I'm just an activist against forced marriage and child marriage and stuff like that, and also Romani rights and, we're
Yep,
human rights, basically all human rights. You
as you
know,
should.
you know.
Yeah, as you should. In this world right now, we need to have these spaces to be able to have these difficult conversations. Because if we don't, who's gonna?
Oh,
And
yeah.
if we don't shed like, light a flame onto things that are just not working anymore, then how are we improving and how are we progressing? And in spirituality, like Abby and I talk about all the time, in spirituality, we are in spaces that we have to rebel, and we have to rebel against oppression because that is our job as healers in this world.
For sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. I saw a post literally yesterday. It was like, how can I look at a world that's burning and not wonder how to be rain? I was like, oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I think our first question, besides the 20 questions that I asked previously, can you guys tell us how you were raised learning your family's divinatory tradition? Because I know you talked a little bit about kind of like palm reading, tarot, but I know there's also I know you have like videos specifically on tea leaf reading. And how has the traditional spaces as well as the modern spaces shaped the practice that you guys have today?
Mm, that's such a good question. I mean, we both grew up doing this work from a really young age. We both started learning when we were around 4, and, I mean, we grew up in different families, but we have that in common, and, we usually when you're teaching little kids this kind of work, you start with teaching them spiritual concepts, how to meditate, how to connect to nature, and just let them play with the tools and watch, like, the grown-ups in their family do it and,
Mhm.
start to just, like, learn what it looks like.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Paulina, do you wanna pick it up from there?
Yeah, it's just like something we were only allowed to do fortune telling, like as a trait for many different reasons. And so it was really integrated early on in daily regular life. And then today, the way that I practice is super different, but I'm still using, like, all the key things that I have learned, like,
Yeah.
as a child. My mom just really encouraged me to, like, read, 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 and, like, she had a cool little library, basically, of, like, a bunch of books and, like, all spiritual books, occult books, tarot books, like, anything, the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian, like, everything, like, she was really
That's
That's
into that, the
amazing.
aliens, all of it, and and now I'm, like, an adult, and I'm like, "Yeah, like, now I know all of that's real, so, like, I'm cool."
Like,
Yeah.
everything. "Alien, take me away,
Yeah,
please."
I'm like, "Okay," like, "I'm cool with that." I was like,
Like,
"No
"Alright,
surprises." My mom
no."
talks with them every day.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Like, we just had dinner with them. I don't know what you're saying. No, but
Yeah,
I that is so, so
like, I can
cool.
give him a call really quick.
Like, what did you need to know? What happened? Oh, okay, okay. Like, nah, we're not gonna bother them for that. But that's so dope because it's so refreshing to see spaces where the occult is honored at such a young
Yeah.
age. Because I know for Abby and I, we were both raised Christian. We were both in more of a structured religion and more of an organized religion in the beginning, and unlearning a lot of that dogma is so challenging when you're going into the occultism, when you're going into spirituality, because it's like, oh, but like if I do this, am I going to be smited? But if I do this, am I going to be smited times two? And to have that it it seems from my perspective almost a little bit like a freedom in some ways of like, I can learn and I can grow and I can establish what my truth is in those spaces, and that's really freaking cool.
Yeah, everything is so nuanced too, because what Paulina was saying about I mean, historically, Roma have been so limited in the jobs that we can work because of discrimination. Like, for any listeners who might not know, Roma left India in around the 6th century in waves through the 10th century, were displaced, arriving in Europe around the tail end of the Crusades, met with multiple genocides, 500 years of slavery that was concurrent with the transatlantic slave trade. And just a lot of horrifying things. And so we've really had to make our livings in the margins. And so, in some ways, it's like, I mean, for me personally, who also didn't grow up with organized religion, but my parents encouraged me to learn as much as I wanted to about everything. Paulina grew up more Catholic, but also magical, and
Oh,
and
yeah.
also Paulina was more restricted than I was. Like, when I was a kid, it was like, here's what we've always done. But, my grandmother was an immigrant, and she came to this country in the 50s, and she was like, "Baby, do whatever you want, but fortune telling is always gonna put food on the table." Whereas Paulina, you had a different relationship to it.
Yeah, it was like you have to go on the street and like do some tarot readings and try to do a palm reading. Like, I don't feel good, and if we don't make money today, we can't eat. And so it was like not like that all the time. Like sometimes my parents were doing really well, sometimes we were doing really bad. Like sometimes we were living, in weird situations or whatever it was. So like we had to do what we had to do to survive, but at the same time, once I had actually left, I had to kind of leave my community after like an arranged marriage and like of kids and just kind of that's like another whole like super long story. And I can't even get into that right now.
You can listen to
But
the podcast Foretold with the LA Times.
yes,
It tells the whole
and
story.
for sure. And, like, after that, I started kind of, like, working, like, a regular desk job, and I was, like, doing regular things, and I was like, "I don't wanna do fortune telling because I've always done fortune telling, and, like, I
Yeah.
didn't choose this path and blah, blah, blah." So I stopped, and then I was like, "I'm also not meant to do anything else now," that I started, like, working regular jobs, and I'm like, "This is not okay." And so
Yeah.
we both I think Jez and I both kind of, like, took it to a new level, like, with just spreading information about like the history of our people and deep spirituality and how that kind of integrated into Western society and then how some of it was stolen and just kind of like all these things. So it's like I didn't grow up with it in a way that I wished I would because it was like, well, you
Yeah.
actually can't work another other job. You're only allowed to do this, but
Mhm.
let's make it cool. Like let's make it fun and you can survive on the street pretty much wherever you are, like, you're gonna make it, like, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, I don't know, like, spirituality never gets old, like, spirituality is always the new black, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
And
But
it's a real survival trade, It really has put food on the table for centuries and continues to do so.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'm still thankful a lot, like, for that experience. But yeah,
Yeah.
we still need freedom, like, and girls, especially Romani American women also need, freedom to be able to choose the jobs that they want, and yeah, everybody in general needs to, like, chill out.
And mind
Yeah.
their own business. And yes. And so I appreciate all of this information because like I know coming into this, Abby and I don't know a lot about Romani culture. Uh, a lot of people don't really know about Romani culture. It's not something that is communicated effectively in our spaces.
Which is
Um,
crazy because that culture is literally one of the blueprints, like, for real. I
yeah,
mean, palm reading, hello? Like, that's crazy. We should be talking about this a whole lot more.
yeah.
Oh,
But unfortunately, we live in a society and we live in a
Oh.
space where our flaws are hidden, but, like, underneath our victories, and so I'm so appreciative of you guys being so honest and so communicative about not only the beautiful parts, but also the parts of pain. And so I think my next question, and also Paulina, you don't have to answer this if you don't feel comfortable. You just don't. If you don't want to, just be like, girl, shut up. Um, but I think like with this transition from this being a very restrictive space for you within your childhood and within your adolescence to now you're rebuilding and restructuring what this looks like, how do you also incorporate spaces of healing? Because I mean, healing is not linear. It fluctuates and it varies with day to day. And so being again engaged in these spaces of spirituality after so much turmoil and if we're honest, so much trauma, how do you also manage your own internal healing in these spaces?
Oh man, I really love this question. So the healing, I feel like, yeah, like people heal, but at the very same time, there's still a lot of trauma that I have experienced myself and that I go through. Jez is like, yeah, like I called Jez crying this morning earlier. I'm like, I'm having flashbacks of my old life and like blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But like basically, I do feel like um first of all, I have to incorporate my own experiences and, not be judgmental towards anyone just because it comes naturally now. But I think over all of this time and I even had to like study things I didn't know. Like I mean, I don't know a lot of things, but like like I went
Girl,
in
same.
deeper into like science and ancient spiritual practices and futuristic predictions and blah blah blah. And I'm like, all the religions, like they all talk about the same thing. And like so now I'm kind of at a place where like I do feel like I believe the people that come in contact with me for any reason in my life, like it's my kind of job or like message to tell people like to guide them like where I feel that they should be guided in the way of like love and truth and like everyone has a natural gauge like should I be doing good, should I be
Yeah.
doing bad, and I'm like
Yeah.
I think people need to stop pursuing things that um they're like afraid of because of judgments of other people, and like I want to inspire people to like do their own thing, and like money and status is okay sometimes, but like actually pursue love and pursue art and
Yeah.
like you know
Yeah.
what I mean, like I don't know, and that's just how I do it now. Like that's literally what I tell most people, like we need to like figure out where your passion lies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love and that is healing. That is because it's not forced upon you now, you get to make your own definition of what it is. I resonate with that so deeply as someone with CTPTSD and with extreme trauma and all these different things going into spaces of spirituality and healing. You have to face all aspects of yourself. And that's such a challenge because as you heal others or as you connect with others, you're also connecting with pieces of yourself that you didn't even know existed sometimes. And
Yep.
so I think that that's so cool that you go and lead with love and you lead with guidance instead of just projecting your own fears because there's such a it's such a challenge to engage with other individuals that are seeking your guidance and seeking your help and not be like thinking about your own spaces of trauma. And so that is an incredible skill to have. And that's
Yeah.
like really freaking awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
So my first question is, y'all's book, Secrets of Romani Fortune Telling. So what is the number one thing y'all wanted people to learn from your book? And also, will there be like more books in the future?
Well, Paulina and I love to talk about trauma. And,
As you should, as you should.
Secrets of Romantic Fortune Telling is really cool because it is part memoir. It's not like a trauma memoir, but it describes tough things that we've lived through with our spirituality that Roma as a culture have lived through. And it's woven into how to read tarot palms and tea leaves. And we teach through storytelling and examples and basically how we learned as children. And we focus a lot on developing the intuitive method because everyone has their own ways of reading. So we wanted to
Yeah.
create a way into these many divination topics that anyone could personalize, but also feels authentic to how we learned, which was an intuitive method. Um, and so we really want people to understand the Romani cultural context. Basically, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself at this moment, but like I I want people to care about Roma culture. I want them to care
Yeah.
about it in the spiritual industry. I want people to be so excited to share about who we are, and that, if you want to be in right relationship with some of your favorite divination tools, you should be in right relationship with the Romani community. Just like if you're not Black and you're practicing
Yeah.
hoodoo, you better be actively working for Black liberation.
Yeah.
I would like people to
Yeah.
understand that about the Romani people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like people don't know about this enough yet. And maybe our
That's
book would have
important.
been tremendously popular if we called it, gypsy fortune telling, but we wanted to use our correct word
Yeah.
to normalize that. But
Mhm.
it's catching on slowly, so we need people's help to make it go viral.
Yes, yes. I That was one of my favorite videos that you guys made, was kind of deconstructing the truth of that word, of
Mm.
like, no, this is fucking wrong. This was not a word that we created. This is a word to, again, demoralize and almost dehumanize an entire community. And
Yeah.
like, I was listening to the video and I was like, oh my God, Shakira, bitch, get that fucking song out of your album. Like, come, like, I,
For real.
it's that, I think that that was it. And it was so, I don't know, like, I don't know why it was so emotional for me, because it was just like, as you were talking about it, like, you feel the energy of like exhaustion. It is exhausting
We are
to
exhausted.
have to keep proving the validity of your history and the validity of your community. And it's so fucking cool that you're still doing it and you still wake up every day doing it. And it is our job as spaces of spirituality, as spaces of community, to be able to create systems so that you can keep doing it and we can join you in that. And so that's why I'm also like, Abby and I are so, so thankful that you are taking time to talk with us today, because it's like,
Yeah.
we need to. Because if we don't, like, who's going to?
We so appreciate it. And we are working on our second book, Secrets of Romani Tarot,
Yes.
which is so exciting. And we'll have a tarot deck after that. And so 2027,
Yes, that's so
2028,
cool.
That's so sick.
respectively.
I
That's
can't wait to see the
awesome.
artwork for that.
We feel like we're, like, pregnant or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
coming. A
Yeah,
dual
literally,
pregnancy that we've been carrying around for years.
Prepare.
literally, literally. You're gonna, it's like,
I'm
it's gonna be
sorry
like
I'm
full
speaking
on.
for you too. I'm like, we feel this way because I can speak for both of us. No.
Honestly, we share
I
brains. It's very
Like I
true.
told you, I'm intuitive. I don't need anything. I got it. We are now
No, but
one brain.
we do have a one brain, I swear.
Yeah.
Guys, like telepathy is real, okay? Everybody could
Mhm.
call me crazy, put me in the crazy house, I don't care. Telepathy is fucking real, because how many times,
Mhm.
oh, can I say bad words?
Girl, did
Yes.
you not hear me just cursing out Shakira?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, I was like, wait, wait. Well, in that case, no, just kidding.
Yeah. No, I get it. Literally, Abby and I, like, she'll call me, like, I'll be like opening my phone to call her and she'll call me and I'm like, oh my gosh, like my spidey senses were tingling. And she's like, girl, I was like, I know, I
I
already
felt
know.
it.
And it is. And that is so refreshing too, because it is like, relationships are so important in these spaces. And
Yeah.
so it's so cool that you guys developed such a close knit space where you guys can literally read each other's minds, because it do be like that.
It's amazing because we started this podcast, we started Ramasan podcast in 2021, and we didn't know each other. Like, we were strangers, and
But we
we
knew
just
Yeah.
started
something.
yeah, it's wild. We just started
That's so
interviewing
cool.
Roma. We had this idea like, oh yeah, let's interview Roma. We'll uplift, Romani people by spotlighting them. We'll have an archive of, Roma experience. But we didn't know each other, and we became besties. And now I get to be like, I wrote this book with my bestie when I am at
Yes.
fairs
That's
and
so cool.
things.
Like, I
It's
wrote this book with
incredible.
my other person.
So nice.
Like, she's not here right now, but she is in here because she's telling me what to say.
It's such a
That's
blessing.
so sick. Oh my gosh.
Um, mhm.
All right, guys. So this is part two with Jasmina and Paulina. We are just finishing up our previous video. As you can see, Abby and I are together now. I came to New Orleans to bother her, and so we're super, super excited to be able to finish our conversation today. Um, and so we're jumping right in. We are. mm, I know, Jasmina, you spoke a lot in previous like posts or like just posts and you share with individuals that you do tea leaf reading, you do tarot reading, but you also do palmistry, which is such a unique form of divination that a lot of people say they do, but not a lot of people can.
Yeah.
And so when you teach workshops and things like that, because it's so vital to learn from someone who actively is aware of what it looks like to read palms. What are some beginner tips that you can share with our listeners or that you feel comfortable sharing with our listeners? Because I've always wanted to learn, but I'm like, I'm so intimidated.
Oh, okay, so many thoughts.
Mhm.
So in Secrets of Romani Fortune Telling, I mean, something that was super fun about writing that book is that we both got to share how our families did all of those things. And there's a lot of overlap, but there also are some differences. And
Yeah.
so in general though, like there are lots of different kinds of palmistry. It originated in
Mhm.
India, then it moved along the Silk Road, and then it moved out of India and moved west with Roma, but probably with other travelers and diaspora too. And so you might find a lot of different styles varying from culture to culture, but also you can see in our own book, like also from family to family.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry too much about like what is like the right thing to do because everyone's way is valid. And I think that can take a little bit of the pressure off. And I know a couple of people who have learned palmistry from books and then just like channel the rest of it. And the palm is just the thing that they dive off with. And they might call themselves palm readers, but they're doing something a little different. So it's like whatever works for you, I'm down with. But something that I think is helpful is learning the basics of the palm, like the basic areas and the basic lines, which are not always standard on everyone you're going to read for. And so when you see something different, that can give you something to clue into. And noticing the textures of the lines is also really important. Like if the line has lots of little offshoots going everywhere, or a kind of chain link where it comes apart and together. Like all of those things mean something. And we have a little guide, in the book, but you might also benefit, or you definitely would benefit from practicing whatever you do to cultivate your intuition, because as you're looking at a palm, you'll start to tap into the person's energy as well, and what may mean one thing on someone else's palm might mean something else on another person's based on how it feels and how it relates to everything else. And I think it's also important to look at the intersections of like, is the fate line touching the love line? Is it touching the creativity line? And that gives
I
you,
got an M.
yeah, M's are fun. There's like lots of things touching then. And yeah, so it's kind of looking it's like a roadmap. It's fun to get into people's hands, and I think that it might be nice to also remember too that like you were saying, not everyone is necessarily skilled at it. And so sometimes one of the ways to tell that someone is a scammer is if they give you some scary proclamation like it's set in
Yeah.
stone. Whether it's like, well, sometimes people are just really freaking psychic and predictive, and they might be like, you're going to get married at 20, and it's like, boom. But you want to be careful around people who are making huge predictions anyway, and just
Yeah.
live your own life and see what happens.
And I love that you say that because I mean, like, when we think of tarot or divination, like, the stereotypical idea is that of like, in 3 days, like, you're gonna go wash your ass and it's gonna be the crazy like, literally, it's these huge life-changing moments that it can either make or break that person. And I think I love that you kind of break it down that way of like, it doesn't have to be, and we don't have to be that when you're reading for someone or you're getting a reading. If it is that and always that, then there might be a red flag there. Because like, sometimes when I do readings with my clients, it's very much like, "We're chill now, we're in a real good space, like, maybe you're gonna stub your toe, you're fine though." Like, it's very low key, and it doesn't always have to be this life-changing moment because we're in a journey, and so I think that's so cool. I love the idea of palmistry. I just am so intimidated by the fact that it's like, there's structure and rigidity. Like, I'm a tarot reader, and I recognize the structure and the cyclical pattern of the numerology but it's so different because it's like, I just, like, look at the pictures and they're so pretty, and then it reminds me of this, and in palmistry, I'm like, "Oh, no, like, I got an M here, but there's, like, a little line. I'm gonna die right now because it's just, like,
Yeah.
it's so intimidating, and so that's
I
really
feel like it's
cool.
cool because there's like less. I feel like there's less structure, honestly,
Really?
because I feel like you have like your tools always. Like you can literally take, like you were mentioning, like the last time we were videoing, that you can take it wherever. Like, and that was like a really big part of it. Like that's y'all all learned it, and you could take it wherever. You grew up knowing you could take it wherever.
That's
And
awesome.
I feel like it's more flexible and fluid too, because you said that your family, like everybody's families are different too. That's really flexible. So if you have like an ongoing tradition with like, oh, if you have a scar or a freckle on this part of your palm, like I feel like that's cool. Like that could mean something. That's so cool.
You know
Yeah,
what? It's
hands are uniquely different, and I think that it's important while you're looking at your own hand not to read scary because I think
Yeah.
the brain wants to, like, look for danger,
Mhm,
so it
mhm.
might be more fun to learn on someone else's hand and then ask
Yeah, yeah.
questions to help you figure out if you got something right. You know, if you have a feeling that, you know, for instance, their child lines being really long might mean that they like reaching into the creativity part of the palm. Maybe you're like, "Oh, do you like, you know, doing creative stuff
That's
with
cool.
kids? Is that how you prefer to spend your time with kids?" And they're like, "Actually, yeah." You know, there might be ways for you to learn in a less scary way
yeah.
than looking at your lifeline being like, "When's it gonna happen? When
That's
am I
literally
gonna go?"
that's very much that stereotypical, like, palm reading. That's what you see in movies and in shows and all the you were talking about, like, learning your hands. I was like, my sisters and I all have the same beauty mark on our thumb.
That's
That means
crazy.
that we're
Ooh, that's very
That's
connected.
lucky.
cool.
Yeah, it's
Beauty
very
marks are very lucky. It's in your thumb, that means, like, a lot of luck with your sense of will and power.
That's cool.
yo,
Yeah.
I'm about to
That's cool.
bend these men's will, about to dominate.
I was just wondering, do y'all have like a specific routine like to prepare for specifically when y'all read palms, or is it like different when you do stuff like with tarot, or is it the same? Do you have like the same routine for any kind of divination reading?
Is it like
Yeah.
preparation?
Yeah, like preparation
Mhm.
for it.
I would say that it's definitely the same. I mean, no, no, not the same. I don't know why I said that. I would definitely say that it's different, but it's
Okay.
also they're both kind of on the go. So you don't always have time. Like sometimes
Yeah.
you're just reading in some random place, or you don't have
Yeah.
time to prepare or whatever it is. And in that case, I think it's more like there is no tradition. It's just like whatever I can do, I can do, but it's still about kind of respecting the space. Like you still want to be hyper aware and present. But for
Yeah.
cards, I feel like I usually like to set the mood a little more. Um, Jez actually is doing palm readings more regularly. I haven't kind of done palm readings for some reason in a little while because it's also that kind of I think it doesn't have as much structure as the cards as well, and so, I don't know,
Yeah.
or maybe there is a certain amount of structure, but it's just, like, a little bit more kind of intricate. I grew up doing palm readings, but now I really stick more, to cards, so that's kind of my thing. What about you,
There's
Jess?
so many possibilities I feel like with palms because everybody has a different palm. Like that's like a fingerprint. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah,
tarot
and you
cards
can
is like,
literally read the fingerprints too.
yeah. Oh
Yes.
shoot,
Yeah.
Crazy,
really?
goes
Yeah.
hard.
Do you do palm reading only in person or do you do virtual as well?
So I do virtual as well. I learned that I could do that during the pandemic. I just need like really clear pictures of your palm.
That's
And
so cool.
I've been having to work online more just because my I've been having health issues. And but when I'm reading a poem, really the only difference for me in terms of preparation would be like I hold the person's hand and look at their hand for a
Yeah.
little while and just take it in versus with tarot, I'm just, you know, shuffling and tapping in that way.
Yeah.
And so palm reading is also quite intimate in that way if you're
I
doing
was literally
it in
just
person.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
That seems so intimate because, like, you're, like, opening up your
Yeah.
hands, like, oh my
'Cause
god.
Mhm.
even just, like, the idea of having your palm touch
Yeah.
to someone was,
Yeah,
like, very much an energetic, like,
Yeah.
"Here you
totally.
go."
And you
Yeah.
can tell a lot from like, the feel of someone's hand too. Like
Yeah.
if they have a very thin, bony hand that also reads energetically, it's like a little more air versus like a more muscular
Really?
hand is a little more, especially if it's like big and powerful, that's a little more earth. So that's fun too to get into. But and then
You can't feel like
same if
water.
My hands always I have, like, literally my hands shake so bad. Like, I would be so nervous getting my palm read. My palms would be
Your
sweating.
hands remind me of
that's
either
okay.
water
I
or
usually
fire.
use hand sanitizer for
Literally.
anybody.
I'm like, "Let's just wipe this down real
We're in a
quick."
post-pandemic world, kind of. Yeah, and then when I'm doing a reading online, I just kinda do the same thing, but with the, image, like, I just look at it for a while and map everything out, but I like to be able to ask people questions. I'm always happy to do a pre-recorded reading, but I love having people participate in the reading.
Yeah, I had to start doing virtual readings as well, and I've been doing Turkish coffee readings virtually. And
Ooh.
that one was really interesting. Not so often as of recent, but for a little while it was like, I don't know how to do this in the beginning. And then I was like, actually, yeah, like I just need some clear like pictures and I'm good to go.
Yeah,
That's
for me, I
freaking
just drink the tea
amazing.
myself. I usually do tea readings and,
Yeah.
read for people virtually that way, but yeah, you clear pictures or drink it yourself, like, it's very,
Wow.
text-friendly.
Yeah, I can't even drink
Just
coffee anymore.
I know, you can't drink coffee.
Oh,
You gotta get
dang.
pictures.
sorry.
My nerves are
That's
gonna
the
be like
worst.
this. I'm gonna be like, you might die. No, just kidding.
Like, "Never mind.
I
What
feel
about
like the room is
decaf?"
spinning.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. No, literally, like, I would have to say, like, in the beginning when I began, like, reading tarot professionally, I was always very adamant of, like, "Don't tell me anything. Don't give me a yes or no. Don't give me anything. I don't wanna hear from you at all because I want it to be unbiased and authentic." And now it's like, as soon as my client sits down, we are yapping. We are
Love
shooting
that.
this shit because I'm just like, I feel finally so much more confident in my space to be able to be like, "No, this is authentic no matter what." And
Yeah.
it's like we're gonna read the energy as it is. I don't have to put these big limitations in. So I think that that's really, really cool that you guys kind of create those spaces as well. Like, I prefer that, like, one-to-one conversation because it's not leading me to things. It's not leading me to questions or answers, or responses. It's just allowing that energetic flow. And it's insane how we do that in so many different ways, which that's so cool. And also, like, coffee reading, we're gonna
That's
have to
cool.
talk because
It's so fun.
I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
your
it's funny
question
too because
oh,
usually people
okay.
don't even I mean, not usually, but sometimes people don't even really know themselves that well, and
Yeah.
so Paulina and I have had experiences where we might be asking a client a question, and they're like, "No, no, no." Like, a fun one that came up recently was, I gave a woman a reading, and, she asked what her grandmother had to, like, tell her, and I was like, "Your grandmother says you need to follow through on this dream that you have," and she's like, "I don't have a dream." And I was like, "Okay." Now she's saying it louder.
Yeah.
So,
Like, you
um
obviously do.
and she was like, "No, I'm very content with my life. I don't have any dreams." And I was like, "Oh, you don't have to be unhappy to have dreams." And she's like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, no, you don't have to. Yeah, just like, what do you want? Like, do you ever think about anything that would be fun or interesting?" And she was like, "Well, I have been wanting to transform an old church into a community center." And I was like, "That's a
Wow.
dream. That's a
That's the
cool
dream.
dream." And she was like, "Oh, this is wild." And I'm like, "Yeah, your grandmother's just telling you to take it seriously, go do it." And then I heard
Yeah.
back from her a year later and she's like, "I'm so glad that you argued with me because I started doing it. Like we bought it."
That's
And like it was
awesome.
really cool. So you don't obviously want to tell people like their business in a way where you're denying their reality. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
like so even when you talk to them, sometimes you have to like draw it out of them.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
do. Sometimes and even sometimes it's beautiful. Like, responses and sometimes it's not so beautiful
Yeah.
and, like, those levels of denial, that was always so challenging because it's like, "Hey, this is what's being told to me, and it is totally okay if you don't wanna receive this right now, that's okay, but this is what's being
Yeah.
told to me, and you can take
Mhm.
it, you can leave it doesn't matter, whatever it is that you need, I'm just gonna tell you that this is what it's telling me." Like, I can't I, in good faith, cannot change what I'm saying to you because it's not mine to change. It's not
Yeah, and
my
sometimes
words to change,
things
and I
make
think
sense
that's
later,
awesome.
and if
Yeah,
everything
but
is
just
just an
give it
offering.
3 to 5 business days.
Yeah.
So, when I stalked your social media, Jez, and, like, the podcast social like, all of the socials, I saw so much about Sarah Colley, and if you feel comfortable talking a little bit more about her and your relationship with her, Paulina, are you also a devotee or in connection to Sarah Colley?
Oh, yeah, like 100%.
Okay, okay, I'm so ready.
I think it's good to give a historical context first too, because there is a lot of whitewashing of her,
Yeah.
especially within certain movements of like Gnosticism and Mary Magdalene devotee. I love a Mary Magdalene moment. It's no shade or anything, but they do completely not acknowledge that she's Romani or Indian or syncretized from Kali, and
No,
that
I didn't know
bothers
that.
me
Yeah,
deeply.
what?
Like
I
That's
I
did not
amazing.
know that because
very
I thought, like, Mary
confusing.
Whoa.
Magdalene was more, like, Italian
That's
or folk.
cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make that super clear that like there are Magdalene devotees that do not acknowledge that she's a Romani deity, and that's very problematic to me.
Mhm.
And
'Cause of
it's
the
not just
location, but, like,
yeah,
geographically, like, that's where she
That's
was from.
insane.
Yeah, now
yeah.
that you
So
mention it, that makes sense.
it's fit
Yeah,
in.
duh.
So
That's a good
sh-
point.
she would have come with so the Hindu goddess Kali would have come with Roma from India. We don't know exactly where in India Roma came from. We used to think the northwest of India. Now it's sort of like actually we can't totally be sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
And Roma started leaving India, I think I mentioned in the first part, like around the 6th century in waves, especially another big one in the 10th century because of war. And then Roma were met with multiple genocides, 500 years of slavery, all these really challenging, terrifying hardships. And so we're just theorizing. No one really knows why Kali came with the Romani people. Bad things were happening though. So I'm assuming that they wanted a powerful goddess of justice
Yeah.
on their side. And so when Roma arrived in Europe, it was a tail end of the Crusades. Everything is, people with dark skin and multiple deities are not being treated well.
At
And
all.
so, no, really, really bad. And So Kali started blending with Mother Mary imagery. And she is a dark skinned goddess who is an uncanonized saint, unrecognized saint, who is worshipped especially in Western Europe, but also, devotees come from all parts of the Romani diaspora. She's seen as a mother protector. She's seen as the mother of the Romani children. And some people might worship her and be very, very Catholic. Some people might not be at all. And there are
This
so
is
many
each
different
their own.
ways to
Mhm.
connect with her, and not all Roma worship her, but there is an enormous pilgrimage, which is a huge festival in the south of France, where Roma come from all over, and sometimes it's like a matchmaking experience, sometimes it's just like a reunion or reconnecting, or it's a religious pilgrimage, or it's a little bit of all of it, but there's incredible music and performances. And the ritual of honoring her is very similar to the Kali Puja. And we bring her statue into the water with a procession of white horses. And so there's her origin there. So if you see anything talking about this, the Black Madonna in France, that is where it comes from. And if you are not acknowledging that, it is whitewashing and colonizing, in my opinion, for a hot take.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I never knew about really the black mon that you
No.
explained it perfectly. That
Yeah.
makes complete sense now.
That is something that is not really shared when talking about Mary Magdalene or
Yeah.
Kali. That is insane. That is But it also goes to show of just how censored a lot of space, and when it's the history that we don't want to acknowledge, we will do whatever it takes to censor it, and that's really, really unfortunate because that's a beautiful, like,
Yeah, it is.
geographically and historically speaking, that's such a beautiful and tragic story that needs to be shared.
Yeah, and
Mm,
resilient, and, I think sometimes people want to claim her in this, like, Christian Gnosticism kind of tradition,
Yep.
which, again, I don't have a problem with the tradition at all, but in order to fit her into the narrative they want in her relationship with Jesus and all of these things, they are leaving out Roma, leaving out, like, the people who she belongs to, so that's
Yeah.
And
messed
yeah.
it
up,
really
man.
affects yeah, like, it really affects inside the community too, like, so my family, we never grew up, like, praising Sarah Ali, but we did have a day, on her day called Saint Anne's Day, and then I was like, "Okay, like,
I've
that's
heard
really"
of that.
you heard of Saint
They
Anne's?
celebrate
Yeah,
that
great.
around here. Yeah.
So some people it's an Orthodox holiday, but we celebrate it like on our day, like on that,
Okay.
on the same day as the Sarah Gali celebration. So I thought that I was like, we never celebrated that, like we don't really know, blah blah blah. And then all these years I was like, whoa, we actually hugely celebrated that like every year, and it was like a crazy spiritual ceremony, and like everybody got together and like praised a candle, and we had to have flowers and bread and coins and whiskey and
Yeah,
just
but
a whole
who
bunch of
wait,
stuff.
who is this? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
Oh.
so but then as of recent, so now I after, 10 years or whatever of being kind of gone from my community, like am kind of exploring, like and now like I praise the original like Kali um
Yeah.
goddess. So it's like basically I have done that now, and now people from my family are like, we never celebrated her and blah blah blah. And like, what are you doing? I'm like, you guys don't understand. And except for my mom, my mom was like, yeah, like I know, and blah blah blah. My mom is always cool. But yeah, it's been interesting.
It reminds me so much of, like, the forced colonization, so, like, as you were talking about, Sarah Kali's story, it reminded me so much of Santa Muerte and, like,
Mhm.
her story and her the historical context and basis of her because she's also not canonized as a Catholic like, as a saint. She's considered a Catholic folk saint because of her Catholic connections to death,
Yeah.
um,
We
and
were talking
also
about Saint Guadalupe
yeah, we were talking about Saint
and like
Guadalupe
Yeah.
today.
who came before her.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
and
That's
just
crazy. We were literally just talking about
also the idea, like, I have her statue right here, so I was as you were talking, I was like, "Mommy?" I was like,
that.
"Oh," because, like, she is the mother to the children that were forgotten, the
Mm,
mother to the children that are cast aside, whether you are, like, LGBTQIA, sex workers, individuals who have to work with death, but also understand the beauty of life, and just, like, we don't think about how deep the roots are, but because of colonization and all of these different historical fuckery that broke things apart. And so now, like our previous generations, they don't understand that our truth now was truth years ago.
Mhm.
But
mm.
because of colonization, they're like, no, I wasn't raised that way. It's like, baby, you weren't raised that way because they got to you. Like,
Yeah, like
and so
wake
now we're
up,
finally
guys.
yes.
Yeah.
And so it's like just because you are my elder and I hold respect as my elder, it does not who was your elder? Let's look at that and who was their elder? And let's look at what this used to look like before there were elders, before we had these generations of colonization, of whitewashing, of control. Because at the end of the day, that's when we get to the base of it or the root of it, like you'll see so much more beauty in these spaces of like polytheistic or deityship or worship of a female instead of a man.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, there's a huge parallel. I'm so glad you brought up Santa Muerte. Just, I mean, anyway, because that's fascinating and great. But there's actually a really big parallel in Brazil. A lot of Umbanda practitioners work with Sarah LaCully in not exactly the same, but sort of similar way, where
Yeah.
anyone who feels outcast in any way will pray to Sarah LaCully.
Wow.
And so she's especially helpful in that tradition with for people who are in desperate situations, dealing with addiction, struggling with
Yeah.
things that are socially ostracized. And, I don't know a ton about that tradition. We did interview someone about it on the podcast, but they're very specific about like this is a Romani goddess saint. Like they're not removing her with from her
Yeah.
tradition. It's integrated because there are a lot of Roma in Brazil and so I thought that was so interesting because Paulina and I didn't know that, and when we found out, we got really excited, and we're like, why aren't we crying? This is beautiful."
No.
It
It's
was literally like I have
crazy.
my little Puerto Rican hairs are like rising right now because it's an emotional, it's a very cathartic experience because
Yeah.
like when you see her, you know her, and that's not
Yeah.
like even as we're talking, we didn't know any of this.
No.
And that's fucking crazy, and that's such a disservice. Like, that is sincerely a disservice that we don't know any of this, and, of course, there's the intimacy of being within your community and having the intimacy of, like, the history, but even on the surface level, we don't know any of this, and that's such a disservice.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I have
pissing me off.
multiple one of the ways that I connect with her and worship is similar to what Paulina said, flowers and bread and gold coins, and all of
Mm.
these fun things on her day. And I throw them in the river and pray and make offerings. But also I write a lot of devotional poetry. And so I have a book of poetry coming out July 17th called Monster More Alive. And there are a
Yeah.
bunch of poems to her or that reference her and I love the devotional poetry tradition of worship. It really makes sense for me, and I've never really been able to write a love poem, so I just write love poems to goddesses that are sort of
Mhm.
inappropriate.
As you should. As you
Yeah.
should.
I'm excited for
Were you
that.
about
I'm
to say
the
something?
same way. I
Yeah.
love writing poems in devotion.
Yay.
Mhm.
Now she's doing art, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
she's doing amazing. Okay, guys, it's time for Siren Song. This is where we wow. What was I saying? Do you wanna do it this time? Because my
Yeah.
brain is yeah, thank you.
No, it's okay. But Siren Song is like the earbug of the week, basically. But mine is Pearls by Stade. I love that song. It's so summery and it's just like so emotional. I feel like I just want to cry to it in the rain or something.
Oh,
What's yours?
oh my god, that's JoJo for
It's so good. We're gonna have to
yes,
listen to it after this. I
yes.
don't think you've heard it. It's
I've
so
never
good.
heard it.
It's older. I think it's like from the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I am such a simp, but I love this song, and I was listening to it my entire flight, to New Orleans, and it's Passenger Seat by Andrew Facada, new artist, my man, but also it's really, really good, and it's on
It is
Spotify and
good.
Apple Music, and I don't know, other spaces too, but it's so good, it makes me cry every single time. Paulina, what's your song?
Okay, I actually can barely pronounce it, but it
We
is
love that.
a yeah, it is a Ethiopian jazz. And I've been obsessed with it. I'm gonna read it. So it's called Hewete, if I'm pronouncing it right, Hewete by Tesfa Mariam Kidane. So that's a
Ooh.
really
Yeah,
good
you
song.
played a little bit with for us,
Yeah.
and it was fire
It
as
was
fuck.
so good.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
sounds
Jasmina?
Paulina has excellent taste in music. I have to go. I mean, I have to listen to all these songs because I'm not familiar and I love a new song. So I really have been loving the song Evelyn by Kim Tillman and Silent Films for a
Mm.
Ooh.
while. And I feel like I love it right now too.
Is it like indie? Is it like R&B?
It's kind of indie with a touch of R&B, but like a lot of T.S. Eliot, Love Song of Jail for Proof references, which I had memorized in college to seduce women.
As you
Ooh.
should. See, I just look
Well, not
down to the
always
ground
works.
and be like, "You're so pretty."
You're the for the women. We love that.
Yes.
Same. I have a fiance. She's a woman too. She's so beautiful.
Yay!
I have
Love
a man,
that.
but he's the last man I'll ever have in my entire life. The last one, because 'cause I'm a misandrist.
I love that.
Done. Awesome. Okay, so I think now it's readings.
Mhm.
Either Abby or I can do a reading.
I would love a reading right now.
Oh my gosh, you
Okay.
should do it. You're the
Okay,
reader.
my purse is right there. Oh my gosh, yes, and then judge me. Judge me and rate me from 0 to 10. Ugh, okay. Oh, I love this. Oh god, I'm so okay, I get so excited and nervous, like,
I'm
nervous
getting
poops
nervous
when I
now. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
video's
but when
over.
I
I
read
gotta
for
lock
other
in.
readers, ugh, I always because 'cause I'm like, "Oh my god, we're just gonna share the same wavelength," and it gets me so nervous, I'm like, "Oh my god," but then I get so excited. Okay, so here's the deck that I am using. Let me
That's my
just
favorite one. I
it's
want that
so
deck so
beautiful.
bad.
Okay, let's get real close, up close and personal. So this is Bocelli,
Ooh.
and you can see she is very well loved. I love this deck because it's similar to like the sexual one, just in the like the style and design, but it's also very like there's like gold trimming and it's
Ooh,
beautiful, very
okay,
beautiful
all
like art.
right.
Um, okay.
I like
All
that.
right, Paulina, we're going directly for you. We're not even gonna do a collective. We're gonna do
God, I'm
directly.
dying right now. So
This is such a treat. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
me too. Our
I
lives
just
are
started
very intertwined.
salivating.
Mhm.
I'm like drooling right now. What is that?
I need those cards. Those are so nice. Pick him up a trade.
All right, yo, through it. Trade. No, I'm literally like my mouth is watering. And sometimes okay, so sometimes I get, like, physical stuff, and so, like, right now, my mouth is, like, fully watering, and I don't know if it's, like, because there's just, like, a dog with a bone, like, a dog with a bone of, like there's something I don't know what this is. I just keep hearing, like, dog with a bone, and I see the cat dog, and it's like, "I want this. I need this. This needs to happen. I want this. I need this. This needs to happen. Why is this not happening?" What is that? Okay. What's that? What's going on with Paulina?
I
Queen of
am the dog with the bone. No.
Mhm. Yeah, literally. Oh, 4 of swords. Girl, you a dog with the bone, but you need to take a fucking nap. Stop being a dog with the bone and go to sleep. Okay. Why? Okay. You're so interesting. Okay, so you Queen of Wands in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse, 4 of Swords upright, 10 of Pentacles upright, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. What's the I'm so
Okay.
discombobulated. 4 of Pentacles upright. Why are you okay? So it's a mixture of 7 of Cups in reverse. Why is this unflipped? You're so interesting. King of Wands in reverse. Girl, we got some reversals. What's happening?
I have a yeah, I don't never mind. Just you tell me
No, no,
you
yeah.
tell me yours.
Don't stop. Stop. Judgment with the 4 of Cups in reverse. Okay. So whenever I see Pentacle, I'm always like money, but it's also foundation and safety and like the security of like our day to day. And honestly, what this really just feels like, it's like too many things are up in the air. Too many decisions need to be made. There's all I keep hearing is like dog with a bone and too many. And it's like you have and I don't know if it's that you have to rush and make certain decisions. I don't know if it's there are things that are transitioning into your in your life that you're kind of just like, okay, I have to do this and then I have to do this and I know that I have to do all of this, but also I'm like kind of tired and I'm kind of overwhelmed and I don't really know what do I hold on to? What do I let go of? But it's like I have to keep going or if I don't keep going, my foundation is kind of going to fall apart. And so it's like we're learning how to balance the responsibilities of the day to day of like there's certain things I can't stop and I can't stop moving on and then also all of these other things that it's almost like in your head, you think of it as surface level and it's mostly tending to oneself. And I don't know. Okay, can I get a little more, please? Because I don't know. I keep on looking at the 4 of Swords, but I'm more so looking at like the body. Like I'm very focused. Like it's like 4 of Swords is about rest and it's upright, but I'm still focused on the body and I don't. And then I, in the tower in the bottom, the hanged man. Yeah. And then again, the body. Okay. Can I have one more, please? And the 8 of swords in reverse. 5 of pentacles. Okay. Do you feel like do you feel like you're currently in a space where if you don't keep on moving, like, which is so, but it's so cliche, but like if I don't keep on moving, things are gonna be falling apart and it's all gonna be my fault and like I'm responsible for this? And is it like specific things? And I don't know if it's specific things of the home or if it's specific things of the business, but there's very much like you need to keep going, but your body is kind of telling you no, and your body's like, bitch, we're in reverse right now. I need you to take a nap. I need you to drink some water. I need you to tend to yourself. But then it's also just like there's also spaces right now where you can't really afford to tend to yourself because there's like the 4 of Pentacles with judgment and then the 10 of Pentacles. And like usually when I see 10 of Pentacles, I'm like, oh hell yeah, girl. But this almost feels like a little bit of stress. Like it's like a everything is happening and you just see the 10 of Pentacles and you're like, this is gonna I just need to keep going. I just need one more step. One more step. I'm gonna be one step closer. And then you're just like, oh, but her foot fell off and her arm was cut off. And it's like, no, but it's I don't need that foot and that arm right now because I just gotta keep going. And you're kind of what do you mean?
That's funny as fuck. You're like,
You're like I'm
it's
like, what does
I'm
that mean? I'm
over.
done. I'm over
I'm
it. So
gonna rest. Yeah, I'm gonna rest. No, because let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you, like, I have been definitely overwhelming myself in like a weird way that I'm like, I don't normally treat myself this bad, but it's like, I don't deserve to do this until this is done. Like, I don't deserve to
almost
eat
like
until I do
yeah,
this.
almost
Like,
like
I
you
don't
hold
deserve
your
to rest until
bladder.
this is done.
Yeah, like you're like writing something, you hold your bladder until you're fully done, and then you go to the bathroom. I was like, my reward is like my basic,
Relieving
yeah,
myself.
my basic needs is gonna be my reward. And so then, right, like as you were going, the card, the Ace of Cups came out. And what's so interesting is that we see the baby here. And usually, like when I see cards like this with like the mother and then the child, it's like very much tending to that child. But if you look at her, girl's not even taking she's like, "I don't give a fuck about this baby right now." And it's like, this isn't her
Somebody needs you.
yeah, somebody needs you. It almost feels like there's
Oh my gosh.
I
that's when
don't
you
even
send a
know that
message.
number. I'm
I'm
sorry,
Oh
guys.
no, my gosh, you're okay.
no.
But when I see this, like the Ace of Chalices or the Ace of Cups, it's literally like a yes, she's tending to her responsibilities, but at the end of the day, she's looking out for herself too. And I always say this to people of like selfishness is another form of selflessness
Yeah.
because it allows you the opportunity to tend to yourself, but it also allows other people the opportunity to learn how to be self sufficient. And I don't know if it's that you are energetically pouring into other people or financially pouring into other people, or it's like whether it's your business, there's something that like
The
you can,
businessman.
okay.
No. I'm like,
You
I've been
can
on the phone with Yelp for like 2 hours. I'm like, I don't understand. Like, everything is going so crazy.
yeah,
But
you are allowed to slow down. You're allowed to slow down and you're allowed to tend to those like aspects of yourself because at the end of the day, it's not going to be conducive to your success if you burn yourself out or if you get because then you're not going to feel as fulfilled because you're always going to be questioning and doubting of like I'm way too exhausted, like am I going to be able to provide authentic connection, am I going to be able because and then it's like, oh, but did I eat, like I haven't washed my ass in 2 days, like how are you going to effectively tend to others if you're not also tending to yourself? Because even as readers or as spiritual individuals or spiritualists, we're also role models to those that connect with us. Like we are given the responsibility to guide. And that's such an incredible and beautiful one. But in order for us to do it effectively, we also have to do it for ourselves. Ace of Pentacles. We love
Yay!
this. Ace of Pentacles. I was like, "Okay, but what's the end result, babe?" Ace of Pentacles,
Okay,
and then the
that's what
bottom
we
of the
were
deck
waiting
is the
for.
Three of Wands. Ah,
Nice.
that makes
That's
me
what we
really
were waiting
happy.
for, yeah.
Yes, and the Three of Wands, and so I love this one because this reminds me it's, like,
Beautiful.
visionary. It's visionary, it's planning, it's preparation. You don't have to keep going all the
Beautiful.
time. Maybe in the spaces of rest, you can also plan and you can prepare and you can change things up. But
Yeah.
you're gonna be okay.
Yay.
Okay,
Thank you.
rate me rate me from 1 to 10.
Oh,
She's
am
serious, she's
I
like,
rating or are you rating, Jess?
I feel like you did
"Either one."
amazing just from, like, knowing Paulina's tea, I'm just like, "Mhm, yes, I could s
Okay,
yes,
I'm about to
absolutely, I
pass out.
agree."
No,
So, no
no, I feel like, yeah, I think you did absolutely amazing, 10 out of 10. That's it, what I didn't want to hear. And so that's how I know that you did a good job.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Like, this has been such an
It
incredible
was great.
experience. Like, we're vibing and I love
Yeah.
it. And thank you, Paulina, so much for letting me read for you. Like that, I'm like nauseous, but it's okay. I feel like I'm like sweating a little bit. Um, but for those of us that don't know how to reach you, or contact you and just want to learn a little bit more about who you guys are and your stories, what are some like? Do you guys have an Instagram, Spotify? I know you guys have a podcast too that you want to share with us.
oh my gosh, so you can follow us, wherever you get podcasts, listen to Ramanistan, podcast. It is also run totally on donations. So if you love what you hear and you want us to keep going, you can donate to us. We have links all over the place, but we're on Coffee, which is ko-fi.com/Ramanistan. We're on Instagram as Ramanistan Podcast, and Instagram is really our primary social media, so find us there. And you can also visit romanistanpodcast.com, which has all of the information that you can find our resources, like lists of Romani nonprofits or different types of endeavors or NGOs that you can support. And you can also get our book, Secrets of Romani Fortune Telling, wherever you get books. Huge, huge, big help if you want to ask for it at your local bookstore or library. That really helps. And if you like it, if you review it, like, especially with a positive review with a little something nice to say, honestly, life changing for us. So we need all the support we can get. And you can also get my book, Monster More Alive, through me at jezminavontila.com. It's a poetry book. You can book tarot, palm, and tea leaf readings with me at jezminavontila.com. And you can even get, packages and things like that. And Paulina has a fun, exciting announcement about her business.
Yes.
Yeah, so we just set up shop in San Diego. So we have kind of like a little store open now in a little space where I'm
Mm.
mainly going to be doing readings, but you can also sip on a little tea and paint. So we have some art supplies. It acts as like a community space and an art
That's
studio.
sick.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about it. And I also sell like super natural home products. So this is like laundry soap, dish soap, deodorant,
Ooh,
toothpaste, shampoo and conditioner bars, and yeah, just like really, yeah, natural stuff, skincare, body scrubs, face oils, like I have feminine products. So there's a lot of stuff and I'm really excited to kind of get this thing out. And you can find me at romaniholistic.com, Romani holistic. And you can follow me also on Instagram at Romani Holistic.
awesome. And so can we also purchase things online and get them shipped to us?
You can, but I really don't have anything available except the shampoo bars and the book. You can get our book online at my store, but I would say you'll have to wait a little bit. Wait in a couple weeks.
That's
In a
Worth the
couple
okay.
wait,
weeks.
worth the wait.
Yeah, I
That's
just got to put
awesome.
everything online. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, oh
And
my
you can
gosh,
book a reading with me there too.
that's freaking amazing. Thank you again.
I forgot we're also on YouTube under Ramanistan Podcast and Jezmina Bontila on YouTube.
Yay.
Oh, hell yeah, that's awesome.
All
Oh,
right.
again, thank you so much. And like
Thank
for the
you.
us, like You guys already know at Calabasas Cultura, at Calabasas Cultura 1. We also have our Instagram, we have our TikTok,
Mhm.
we have our YouTube. And if you guys want to share any stories, have any information, any questions, you can email us at calabasascultura@gmail.com. I'm Kim,
And I'm Abby.
I'm Jezmina.
I'm Paulina.
and this is
Calabasas.
Cultura. Bye, everyone.